Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Canmore, Alberta, Canada. Welcome to Make It Marvelous Monday. Yay! Here's my little sign for Make It Marvelous Monday. Let me get rid of that. And guess what? Today we are going to be using the Ornate Style Bundle, the brand new item that came out April 1st. There it is. And of course it makes absolutely stunning cards. And man, I started working on this during the weekend and on it went. I couldn't stop. It was absolutely fantastic. And so since this is the feature of the week, if you purchase this bundle, or if you already have this bundle, or you're a demonstrator or a hobby demo, or you're just not feeling the suite but you do want to place an order, then I will send you those Gilded Gems that match this suite for free if you place a $70 order. So that is the big feature this week. I'm so excited. Of course, like I say, I started playing with this on the weekend and came up with more and more ideas. And so I have lots of cards for this morning, and I have lots of ideas to share throughout the week. So every day I'm going to be sharing a different idea, or two or three or four. All these, measurements, all the products that I use will be on my blog later on in the day. What else was I was going to say? One more thing. Of course, this Ornate Style Bundle is actually a part of a bigger suite, the Ornate Garden Suite. So you might have heard that term. So the Ornate Garden Suite actually comes with two bundles. And so this is just going to be one of the bundles. It comes with ribbon, it comes with an embossing folder, it comes with the most stunning paper, which we will be playing around with again today. And yes, okay, so I remembered what I wanted to say. Since I was doing so many cards and thoughts kept coming and ideas kept coming, I decided to use this bundle in a way that I showcase different coloring techniques every day. So I'm going to be using different tools and different ideas. So that's going to be kind of my focus this week with this bundle, because I had to narrow it down. Yikes. Oh, but I could have kept playing with this, that's for sure. I see the suite is beautiful, but it's already on back order. Are you kidding me? No way. Oh, oh wow. It is, oh, darn it. Us demonstrators played with it too much, and now, we put too much hype into it. I'm sure it will come back though, and when it does come back, you will be, ready to roll, right? We'll all have our ideas and you'll be ready to go. So we're going to say it that way. All right, so thank you everybody for popping on this morning. I'm so excited to be here with you. And I love how you're already commenting and saying hello and telling me where you're from, just as a reminder. So I'm so glad that you're here. Thanks. Yeah, comment throughout the live here, and I will go back afterwards and respond to your comments. I always love going back to read those. I just don't want to miss anybody while I'm, working away, and I don't want to, hurt anybody's feelings. So if I miss if I don't chit chat right now with you, please know I will go back and answer any questions or say hello. There's a little bug from our plants. All right, I am gonna get rolling, I think. Let's let me flip my screen to this view. This one. All right, so just so you can see it, here is the stamp set that we're going to use. And as you can see, it lends itself to all sorts of coloring techniques, right? Beautiful, absolutely stunning. And I'm in awe of it, of all the ideas that I came up with. I'm shocked. But this was an easy set to work with, and I think it's going to be one of those sets that I may actually end up keeping. I don't generally keep anything that say retires or whatnot, but this one, yeah, lovely, lovely. And of course, it comes with dies, which are those incredible frames. Now, where did I put them? Over here. First of all, they're all in a disaster, but they're so stunning. Now, I will warn you that if you have these dies, you're going to want to make sure you have the rectangle stitched framelets, or the rectangle stitched dies, because these frames, as I will show later on, they cut out the centers of them perfectly. It's like they thought of this or something. So just a hint. And you know, I'm sorry about last week that lots of you, you know, just after seeing all the cards, decided, oh yeah, I need them out in Air Bundle. And I'm sorry about that, but yes, you do. So if I do that again with you this week, I apologize in advance. So here we go. All right, first card. Now, most of the cards I have already pre-colored and cut out and everything, but I did want to show, say how to maybe color with the Stampin' Blends for those people that are maybe new or aren't really sure how to use the two colors, that kind of idea. So here's what I did. On a piece of Whisper White, I stamped the image, the big stamp. I used that, I think, the most today, anyways. So I stamped that in soft suede on a piece of Whisper White, and then I used the stitched shapes, the largest circle, and cut that section out. And that is all I'm going to color right now. Now, the colors I'm going to use, I think, are Petal Pink, So Saffron, Mint Macaron, and I think Old Olive. Now, I don't have Terracotta Tile. I'm almost wondering if Calypso Coral might work. We'll see if we need it or not. We'll see. I do have soft suede as well, so we can, add a little bit of that in there too. Okay, so let's get coloring. Let's start with a leaf. I think that will help us help show how you kind of work with the Stampin' Blends. So there are two ends with the Stampin' Blends. One is a paintbrush end and one is the bullet end. I generally prefer the bullet end unless I'm doing like a big section. Okay, so first off, I start with the darkest, and here's a nice big leaf. I go over top of whatever lines Stampin' Up! Has already drawn for me, okay? And then I go in with the lighter version. This is Mint Macaron, by the way. The lighter version, and color right over top of everything. And that allows the blends behind, they kind of spread, allows it to spread a little bit. So it's not such a stark line, but it defines it. It causes shadows, makes shadows, just makes your coloring a little bit more dimensional, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to continue on coloring the leaves in this beautiful picture. So how was everybody's weekend? Mine was not great. I just was having struggles at every corner, I think, but that's okay. We're going to make it Marvelous Monday. And so today, to make it marvelous, I was thinking, last week we focused so much on everybody else, but in order for us to be kind of effective and in helping others, we need to be full ourselves, right? So how about we think about ourselves today, and we are going to kind of make it marvelous. We're going to think of ways. What are some self-care ideas that you do to kind of look after yourself. Either when you're going through a rough time or you're just feeling out of sorts, or what are some things that you do? Something that makes me kind of calm down and relax, of course, is definitely my faith. Just the act of like thinking in my mind, okay, and I'm, have this problem or this worry or this issue, and I place it in my hand and I say, God, here you go. You know how to fix this. You know the best ways for me to deal with this. Kind of show me how to do this, because I don't know. And that release, I suppose, is helpful for me. Some little practical things, I guess, that I like to do are just the act of, say, putting on face cream. I know, silly, goofy, but I love the smell of it. I use Rocky Mountain, which is made here in Canmore. I've used it for years and years and years. I always bought it in Winnipeg because they have a store in Winnipeg, but yeah, the smell is incredible. So the smell alone, just, aromatherapy, right? And then just, it's cool, feels good. It just tends to relax me a little. Or even just, putting on some hand lotion kind of just, feels nice. I'm kind of a warm or a cool type. I prefer to be cool as opposed to hot. So I see here that Kathy likes to soak in the tub. Yeah, that would drive me nuts. But for a lot of people that works, doesn't it? Absolutely. That is very common. But there again, different strokes for different folks, right? Did you see Lisa's live on Saturday? I caught part of it. And speaking of different strokes for different folks, man, if you are a person who loves brights, she did amazing cards with some heavy duty brights. Not my style at all, but they were beautiful. But yeah, just different, right? We all have different ways of doing things. I like my subtles and little relaxing colors. People like, different things. So any other tricks that you use? Do people read, you sit and pray? Yeah, or yes, or a cup of coffee and a book. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. Yeah, my psychologist definitely recommended just reading. The act of kind of taking your mind from your worries to something else, kind of distracting yourself, I suppose, is very effective. I've now switched over to the So Saffron color. And I tend to color the darkest color towards the center, if you can see, because of course flowers tend to go in a little bit, right? And so of course they're going to be darker nearest the center. So just a tip for when you're coloring. Okay. Just add a little bit of that yellow onto the other daisy. Sit on the patio and watch the birds. Yes, and you do such amazing pictures, Roz, of those beautiful birds. Oh, I love it. Yes, great idea. You like my style? Thank you. Karma meditates. Yes, yes. It's just helpful just to kind of take your brain off stuff, right? And us as women, I don't know if anybody's read this book, but Men Are Like Waffles and Women Are Like Spaghetti. It really kind of solidified this, the theory that women cannot shut their brains off. it kind of just goes and goes and goes, and it thinks constantly. And a thought brings another thought, and it's like a bowl of spaghetti. One single thought, which is one strand of spaghetti, I suppose, connects to another thought, like, oh, my socks feel itchy. Oh, socks. Oh, I should get some new ones. Oh, wonder where I'd go. Walmart? Walmart's busy. Oh, busy. COVID. I wonder if I should even go out. And it just continues, right? Where, did you know, women or men have empty waffle squares? So they tend to be very focused on one thing at a time, and can't have to jump from one square to another to switch thoughts. And so, but they have the luxury of empty waffle squares. How incredible is that? So that's why if you tell them, apparently, if you tell them to go and, can you take out the garbage? They're already in a waffle square. So that means they have to get to the next waffle square, to the garbage taking out waffle square. And so they often don't get there very fast. Can't just jump from one to the next. Now I'm just checking about Calypso Coral. I don't have the terracotta tile stamp and blend, but I think it would add enough, a little bit of pink to kind of help balance this out a little bit. Okay, so there you go, there's your thinking. So yeah, if you can distract your brain, reading is one. It kind of makes you focus on one thing at a time. It's a good idea. Yes, and I have said this before, if I'm freaking out, feel myself getting too wound up, just need to go outside oftentimes and on the balcony and just look at the mountains. Just take a deep breath. I'll be okay. Everything's lovely. I will be fine. Take a deep breath. Just remind yourself it's all good. How are you liking these colors? Just joined. Really like the circle. Awesome. Yes, these ladies are awesome ladies. So we are doing some coloring. And even the act of coloring, right? That's why I kind of thought of this week. I thought, let's relax a little this week. We worked so hard last week making things for other people, and that's absolutely wonderful. But we can, also kind of focus on a little bit of relaxation and whatnot. And this is by far one of the coolest sets for coloring, as I will show you. So we're almost done. I don't know if you've seen, but how I've been doing the insides of the flowers a little darker than the outsides. If the petals, see how I go darker towards the inside of the petal as opposed to the out. And if you don't even get to the outside of the petal, that's okay. It's okay to leave white. White is an okay thing. There's always light reflection, and so a hit of white here and there on things is actually a good thing. Did you know, and I had learned this in watercolor class, that when you're either painting a portrait or even photography, with your pets, with people, if you look at their eyes, could you use the blending pen and the stamp pad to color terracotta tile? Could you blend a pen and stamp? Yes, yes, I could. Maybe I'll do that. Let's do that. Let's color that great big flower with the blender pen. Good idea, Pat. Pam or Pat? Pat. I have a Pam and I have a Pat. Want to make sure I have the right thing. Have you done the Men Are Like Waffles devotional study book? I have not. I read back in the day the singles version, and I read the regular version. So, no, but I haven't read that. They said to use Calypso Coral for a terracotta tile. Yeah, this was the lightest Calypso Coral. But let's go in. Even if I go towards the back here with the terracotta tile, and like Pat said, you can use your blender pens absolutely to color. The only thing with blender pens as opposed to the Stampin' Blends is that you gotta be super careful to not over color, because it puts out a lot of liquid, the blender pens, and so you can kind of shred your paper quickly, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna go in like this, do some of those kind of shadow bits. And then I'll go in with the dark Calypso Coral because I was using the light version, and see what happens. I don't know if it'll blend. I haven't tried this. Adding ink and blender pen. I don't know if it's gonna make it move or not. Is this actually? Yeah, it is Calypso Coral. Okay, just making sure. Okay, and I'm gonna go. Oh yeah, look at that. It is almost very similar, isn't it? Oh wow. I almost, huh. It's so dark that you almost don't need to, you could use it as a replacement for sure. Huh, interesting. The terracotta tile bits might actually end up looking lighter than this Calypso Coral. Okay, let's go in with the light version now. I'll use the paintbrush end because it is a big area to color in. But yes, I do prefer the bullet end. I just feel like I have a whole lot more control. Cool. I think the terracotta tile looks like it's a little bit more pinky. So those are the background ones, the terracotta tile. It's almost a little more pinky, hey? Neat. May smear the Memento ink. Not a tad. Well, it could. It could. I don't know if it just like maybe rips or tears the paper a little more. I'm going to go back in with this terracotta tile in the blender pen and just kind of highlight create a few more shadows. And that'll add that little pink kind of tone to this. Once again, I want to make sure I have lots of dark close to the center. Otherwise, it kind of tends to make your flower look inverted, if you will. It also does dry, I think, differently than when you first put it on, which is also something to think about. Okay, I think I want to add some old olive to the center here. I think we'll tie in some of that old olive with old olive there. Just add a little portion of the dark there, just to make a shadow. How do you feel about yellow in the centers of the little pink flowers? Should we do yellow? Should we just leave them white? Thoughts? I think I'm going to go in. I'll just do a few hits here and there, and we can see what we think. Whether we should do them all, or if we should just leave some. It almost doesn't really add much. I think I'm going to just leave it. Oh, I see, Janet. Yes, Stampin' Up said they didn't do a terracotta tile blend because Calypso Coral was so close. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. There we go. All right, I'm going to move these blends out of the way. We are done coloring. I get to assemble. So I have Petal Pink here, card base. I see I got a little ding here, so we're going to cover it up. I've got a piece of Whisper White, which is going to go right over top of that little ding, and nobody will know. Like so. And then I've got this beautiful paper that is going to go over top of that Whisper White layer, just leaving a tiny little bit of Whisper White. When I first was kind of putting this card together, I kind of laid things together. I thought I didn't have that little piece of Whisper White, and it kind of frames this beautiful paper a little better, I think, when I did add that little piece of Whisper White in the background. It also ties into this piece maybe a little better. And then I'm going to go over top. I feel bad, but, or what do you think? I think we kind of need it. Well, although, because I'm covering up my terracotta tile bits, aren't I? How about, and this, by the way, is the beautiful embossing folder. Yes. How about, what if we did a mint macaron layer around here? Maybe that would work. So let's get out our layering circles and see what's going to match with. Oh, that works wonderfully. Thought I had it all together already, just go, but I guess we're going to change things up, hey? Gonna head over here to the big shot. Any big plans for today? So it's just going to be wee little. I almost want it bigger than that. I don't think I have it bigger than that. Nope. That's okay. We'll just, I could trim this down, but I don't want to. I could trim that down just a tad. We'll just leave it. Leave it. Oh, we could just go like that too. That might work. And then I was just going to put a little bit of a, remember this? Label Me Fancy. That punch. Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. And then it shows a little more, because if I have it like this, it's not really going to show up so well. I don't know. You could emboss the layered circle. Like this? I could emboss that? I suppose I could, couldn't I? That would give it a whole lot of neat texture. Nothing says you can't. Okay, let's just put this up a little bit higher. And then I'm going to put this down a little bit lower, but let's pop that one up. I think it deserves a little, oh, I always love this. Love the backs. Anyone get any feedback from their cards that they mailed out last week? Emboss the scalloped circle. Oh, that would have been good. It is a shame to cover up the beautiful paper, isn't it? I know. That's why I thought, as soon as I put that down there again, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. maybe not. Let's tilt this a little. Okay, and here's our little piece of petal paint with the Label Me Fancy Punch. And I got out my favorite sayings. Think about what fits. So I love our beautiful friendship. I do need some happy birthdays. That would fit too, and some thank you. Thank you's a little too big. Let's go with, it's a happy cheery card. Let's go with a birthday. All right, I think I'm going to use the soft suede. By the way, I had stamped the image and was totally going to use the Memento Black. Let me show you the difference. But as soon as I saw it, I thought, that's too much. It's too dark. So that's why I switched over to the soft suede. And the soft suede almost has kind of a gold look to it a little bit, which I quite like. So I'm going to use soft suede for the saying here. Happy birthday. Whew, needs an inking, but that's okay. We're good. Off to the left. All right, so I'm just going to put it's coming off for me here. A little piece off to the left, and on the right hand side I'm just going to put a little bit of snail tape because the right hand side is already popped up a little bit here. So like so. And to finish this off, I think it needs some of these Gilded Gems. Let's go with a little one and a medium. And let's go with a large. There. What do you think? Now what I could do is take this piece and maybe I trim it down and glue it in here for the insert. Or I could put this on the envelope flap. I could do a little layer on the front of the envelope. Oh, options, options. Okay, so that's kind of how you can color with the blends. That's going to be our focus kind of today. But there's card one. I like it. Love the colors. Love, love, love. All right, our next card. I had to show off these beautiful frames because stunning. So I think I saw Connie Stewart. It was Connie Stewart who did this fold. So basically you have your normal card base, but instead of folding it in half, you score it at 2.5 and 6.5. And then you just fold them up and you're gonna make kind of like a little envelope, I suppose. And then I thought I'm gonna put this on here like so. And this I colored ahead of time. I used Bermuda Bay, Flirty Flamingo, Mango Melody, Pumpkin Pie, Granny Apple Green, along with the Old Olive, I believe. And I don't know if you can see in the leaves, but I added a little bit of rich raspberry. I also threw in a little rich raspberry in those centers of those flowers. Do you see that? Why not make the leaves a little more, you know? Ooh. Now I just want this card to be just simple. Okay, so because I want to really showcase the beautiful flowers. So to me, this is enough. even though it's all white. Sometimes it's okay to be just all white. And we're just going to go like this and glue that on. As far as the saying, I think we'll figure something out here. Okay, so for this, I'm going to kind of place it where I want it to go. Think about there. Now I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm just going to add a little dot where this piece ends, because I need to know where. I should probably line up the dots, I suppose. So this one's totally covered, this one's there. Anyways, it'll give me a clue. So that when I flip over, I can still see those little dots, and I know don't put glue here. Oh, we could pop it up though. What about using dimensionals? What do you think? I don't know. Let's use dimensionals on this one, and then I have one coming that's exactly the same but just a different kind of version. So let's pop this one up and not the next one and see what we think we like better. Okay, so just focusing where are those little lines, so we won't go past that. Of course, if you're wondering what kind of dimensionals these are, this is the edge. And using up this last bit. It's okay to use the edges. All right, I think that's good. Should hold everything on there well. I should have used maybe the thick Whisper White cardstock for this piece, because I think it's going to get kind of manhandled a little more than the rest of the bits. Okay, so there again, just kind of being mindful of where you have those little dots in the center, centering the frame. There we go. Pretty, pretty. And I have to pop this up. I think this just needs to be popped. Right? Okay. Another one bites the dust. More dimensionals. Do you guys go through lots of dimensionals too? Do you like popping things up, or do you prefer just kind of the flat, simple kind of layers? I quite like dimensionals. I go through tons. I wish they'd sell them in bulk. Oh man, I cut my fingernails on the weekend, so now I feel like I'm handicapped. Got trouble doing what I used to do here. Okay, here we go. I'll just go kind of so that it's straightish across. Okay, pretty. Now if we have just a little saying, which, oh yes, remember these? Dina Rico's Label Me Bold. What color would we use? I'm going to do a For You. I think For You is like one of the best sayings ever, because you can, for you, for your birthday, for an anniversary, well, maybe you wouldn't say for yous, but you know what I mean, right? Let's try out some different options. So we got Bermuda Bay in here, which would hit that, maybe Bermuda Bay. Let's see. We could also try the Pumpkin Pie, because that would kind of tie in the pumpkin pie from the other side. Options. Love it. Not loving it. We'll see. Where is my Simply Chamois? I rinsed it out before I went live. Well, I guess I will use a baby wipe until I locate it. Okay, let's try pumpkin pie. Whoops. If I don't like pumpkin pie, I think I'll use black. Give black a try. I think it's too light. I think they're too light. I think black is going to be the one that kind of, so you can still see it. And there has been a lot of the demos, a lot of the artisans, I don't know what they're called, stampers for Stampin' Up. They are doing a lot of sayings. Yes, that's it. They're doing a lot of sayings in black and embossing in white. And it's kind of different. Like, it's not really connected to anything on the card, but it just pops, which is kind of cool. And of course, these are super easy just to cut with your scissors. So we're going to be cool like the artisan stampers and use this idea. Yeah, love it. Okay, so I think if we should pop it up. Chance to use our mini dimensionals. I don't use them very often, just kind of with a special project. Yeah. I think the one side is going to have to be a little bit higher than the other. We'll see. Yeah. So the U side, I'm going to double up. Very cute. And of course we need some gold, right? We have to use these gems. Oh, this is totally crooked. Let's not have you crooked. Go through all this work, making you stunning, and then crooked. All right, let's get a medium and put it here, and a little, and put you here. Let's do one more little. I don't know. Do we go here? Let's go like that. Yeah. There we go. What do you think? Isn't that gorgeous? And how simple. Just white. And then, of course, you open it up. And I will decorate the inside. Probably going to use this little stamp here. Just put one of those on the inside and color it up. Be mindful, actually, I did this by accident on one of the cards, not that long ago. I would actually advise that you, if you're going to use Stampin' Blends, that you actually stamp this on a different piece of Whisper White, color it, and cut it out and glue it on, because, as you know, Stampin' Blends kind of bleed through your paper. And so, I mean, if you don't care that it's kind of hanging out on the back, that's fine. Or you could do actually an insert of Whisper White on the Whisper White. Ooh, that looks tight. So I would have to trim that down. But you could go that way as well. That would be easier, and then you wouldn't have to fussy cut, would you? There you go. Gorgeous. Love it. All right, card 2. Love it. So this card is going to be pretty much the same. However, I decided, you know what? Could we color the flowers kind of in a monochromatic look? So everybody's coloring them all, you know, bright and fancy and colorful. But what if you just went with kind of one color idea? So I decided, let's do some blues on this one. So I used Pool Party, the Balmy Blue, and Night of Navy. What do you think? And there again, you don't have to color in the entire flower, just add in little stripes where those lines are. I think I used the light Balmy Blue for that. And there you go. Let's use this monochromatic look. So then I did the same fold. This fold, I'll put the measurements on the blog later on today. And I was trying to think, okay, what paper has this just calm blues in it, or some blues that might match? And remember this? That might help you. Remember that from the Sail Away? And then look at this. Do you remember this paper? This is from, oh shoot, Expressions. Oh, try to remember. So I'm actually going to glue those on there just to add some extra kind of color. It's not really extra color. It's just kind of more pattern, I guess, since we aren't using a whole ton of color. I mean, you could just do one layer. You could, you know, there's our Whisper White. You could just go like that. Even that is pretty. Do we need this one? I think that brings in some of the lighter blues. I think it'll be kind of fun to use this. Or there's the back side. You could do that too. That's kind of super bold compared to this little stripe, where it's dramatic. That side's really dramatic, but it's not overly patterny, I suppose. And it just fits in here well, like so. And there again, I'm going to, I don't think I'm going to finish this. I will finish it later because I see a silhouette. Thank you. Because I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more cards I want to show you. But you know how this is going to work, right? We're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. You can even have the flowers pointing that way as opposed to this way. Whatever feels right, do it. I think I'll probably do another one of these little Label Me Bold pieces. Maybe a Night of Navy might work. All right. For the inside though, I have a piece of Whisper White, and they have this beautiful scroll looking stamp as part of this set. So I thought, okay, let's add, oh no I didn't. Was I gonna use this for the inside? Yes. Nah, let's use this. I was already talking about it. Okay, so let's use this scroll, or there's this little corner piece. Ooh, this might look pretty. Let's do this one. And I will just get out the Night of Navy. So of course this is gonna look pretty on an envelope in the corners. You can use this on all of your envelopes. It'd be absolutely stunning. I'm getting out my Night of Navy. You know what? I better wait because I remember the last. Yeah, I'm gonna have to trim this down just a tad. Okay, so I will show you pictures later on of what that looks like. So I don't want to stamp and then have to trim it and cut off part of it. So here was my thoughts for the envelope. That here, this would go on the flap, and this would go on the front of along the front of the envelope. Okay, so I will show you, like I say, pictures later on. I'm going to get rid of this little Night of Navy on this piece because could end up in disaster. All right, next one. Now, as I was saying before, ooh, bright bold, right? Crazy bold. I don't know if I love it, but my goal is I want to use that side. Isn't it pretty? It's just kind of watercolory, kind of calm, just a little more artistic almost. So that was my thought. So instead of using this side, which I really, really colored. So while I was coloring, I had the intentions of using the other side. So while I was coloring, I would always go back and check over here to make sure that it was looking okay. And if not, I went back and back and back until it kind of made some, you know, neat layers and lines and whatnot. Why not, right? Now, there again, look at this paper. So this is that side. I don't know, I'll use it for something, but it's not my favorite. But this side has the gold in it. Isn't it pretty? And then because I used Rich Razzleberry, I love this color. This was my wedding colors, Rich Razzleberry. So I have a Rich Razzleberry card base, and I ran a layer through with the embossing folder. So what colors did I use here? I see you like the watercolored side. Just so you know, if you want to replicate this, this was Rich Razzleberry, but gone over many, many, many times. Mossy Meadow on leaves, as well as, I think I used Granny Apple Green, if I can remember right, just to make it a whole lot lighter. This was Mango Melody. This and the little stripes were Calypso Coral, not Calypso Coral, Cajun Craze. I'm on the Cajun Craze kick now, right? This is Cherry Cobbler, I believe. Cherry Cobbler and Cajun Craze again. So those were the colors that I kind of used to make nice, intense color on the back. Isn't that neat? Okay, so let's put this all together. Now I wanted to, let's see, yes, put this onto here. Let's pop this frame up. But first I want to, do I want the bow? No, I don't. I'm going to just put this straight onto that layer. Isn't that pretty how you can make the frame with the DSP? It really, you know, softens any of that wild DSP and just kind of calms it down a whole lot, right? Like it's, you know, it's doable. Doable for me. So just an idea. Okay, I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue for this because this is so textured. You want to make sure that the glue sticks. You don't want to send this to somebody and then they, you know, open it up and everything falls apart. That would not be good. Okay, let's put this right in the center of our layer. I'm not going to put glue around here. No. We'll just leave it. If it sticks up a little, that's okay. You can always use some glue dots if the corners aren't quite sitting nicely. Just tuck in some glue dots and shove it down. All right, so next I'm going to use some of this beautiful, what is this called? Crinkle Seam Binding Ribbon. And I'm going to use white. Just kind of tying a bow off at the side here. Remember, whichever direction you pull the bow is where it's going to kind of, the direction it's going to keep staying at. Let's make this one a little smaller. I think that looks good. Oh, sheesh. Come on. There. All right. Cut that off. Cut that off. And this layer I'm definitely going to pop up. I think it deserves a little pop, don't you? Oh, I hate putting dimensionals on there. It's like I'm doing something wrong. Doing it backwards or something. But this is a technique. Let's give it a try. You can always go back and make the exact same thing. And use the other side if you choose. What time are we at? Okay, almost an hour. see how these stitched frames, stitched rectangle dies fit so perfectly inside the frames. I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, I'm going to think of a saying, get it on here later on. I don't want to cover up too much, so I might resort with that label me bold again. I love them because they're just so small, but they're bold. And it will get the message across, but it won't cover up so much. Okay, so I'm going to glue this onto my rich raspberry card base, like so. But what I wanted to do with the inside was actually, see this die? This comes with it, and it just cuts out the insert. So you could just leave it like that, and you see the rich raspberry behind, or you can go in with that paper that we used on the front, and I'm going to actually put it behind, and it just gives it a pop of green, little hits of gold. Okay, and of course I'm going to add some of that gold, those gold gilded gems somewhere on this. This reminds me of some like art gallery piece, doesn't it? All right, I will finish that and show you that later on. Next. So of course, when using Stampin' Blends, you don't just have to use ink. You don't have to, just use Memento Black, or as we did before, you can use, soft suede. But this time I decided to use some gold embossing. Look at that. And I used the daisies from this set on this. Here's my Cajun Craze. So for this one I used Cajun Craze. I also used the So Saffron, the dark and the light. And this is Old Olive. I just kind of stuck with that. And just kind of, I did these two first, embossing with the gold. And then I went back and stamped this one, put the embossing powder on, and just so that it didn't, I didn't want it kind of going over top, I kind of just wiped away those little bits that were the leaf over top. And then that just made it look like it's tucked behind the flower, if you will. Okay, and then you go and color them. Just a note, if you do color over top of the embossing, it tends to make it look a little more dull. So when you're coloring with Stampin' Blends, try your best to just kind of hit the paper as opposed to hit, like you can be pretty free when you're using the Memento ink. But this is just, it sometimes makes it a little bit dull looking. There you go. Now we did that other beautiful insert, but this is another one of those pieces that you get with this set. And I thought, oh, let's show that. That's so pretty. And, just put it along the side there. Here is my So Saffron card base. I wanted to put this one on. I don't know if I should go off-centered, a little off to the right at the bottom, or put it in the middle. Maybe, we'll see. We'll try some things, right? Oh, I just thought of, you know what I thought of? It'd be pretty to splatter some of the So Saffron to kind of make it a little more loose. And then I had this, the frame, the dies, comes with just a rectangle. And I thought, oh, let's pop this. Let's add a piece of this beautiful DSP. Okay, and we can just lay it across like so. We can center it. Just to add a hit more of gold. So I think I'm gonna, I don't know, I might as well emboss something up here. I'm also thinking, just to jazz up the background, I think I'm going to go in with the daisy stamp and use Versamark just by itself and stamp those daisies kind of closer to the edge in Versamark. And that'll just give it a little bit of a pattern without being overly intrusive, if you will. Okay. Now I don't have, you could get gold foil paper. That would be fun too, but I don't have any yet. It's on my list. Or you could go see off to the side and put this one over to the other side. Or would this look better up here? Maybe. And then it doesn't cover up our flower, but it does cover up this. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, that could look pretty too. Just make it like little banners sticking out. Anyways, decisions, right? So I will work on that card. Yeah, it's cute and simple. I think I'm going to splatter some of the So Saffron. Maybe I'll do that just in case if you've never seen how you splatter. So I'm going to take the dark So Saffron, and you get the watercolor brush end. And oh yeah. And you just flip. So you hold the cap steady and you just flick the brush onto it, and it just adds a little bit of something, hey? I like it. For the insert, I don't know what I got here, but you can always take your pick tool, and that one end with the goo is great for getting stuff off of your paper. You can use a white eraser as well. But there again, I thought, oh, this is going to be pretty. I'll add that to the insert and just have that peekaboo of So Saffron sticking out. Isn't it gorgeous? We also have to add those gold gems on here as well, so that'll fill up some space. So I will show you what that will look like in the end as well. Okay, next one. See how I started, and I tell you I couldn't stop. I loved it. Oops. Oh, don't lose that. Okay, this one. We actually did this last week with the Mountain Air bundle. But I wanted to kind of do the same thing. However, you can color with your Stampin' Blends onto vellum. Yay! And really, it looks like, you know, a window, stained glass. Check out the different sides, which you prefer. One will be darker, one is lighter. The side that I colored on is definitely darker. I think I prefer that. Something you need to know though, if you stamp on vellum, the outline, you need to use a Stays On product, because if you just use Memento, it is not going to dry. Oh, Andy, stop. It's not going to dry. And it'll just be a pain. And also, if you start using your Stampin' Blends, it's going to move the Memento ink around. So you do need Stays On for sure. So that's that. Colored this with, let's see, let me think. Let me hold this against here. A lot of things, I think. So Saffron. Maybe it was Daffodil Delight even. I'm going to say Cherry Cobbler and Flirty Flamingo. I used Calypso Coral. However, I put in little strips of Mango Melody. I kind of wanted to add a little more pizzazz to them. They almost look like marigolds, don't they? And the flowers, I believe, are just Old Olive. Okay? So here's, do you remember this? How we did this last week with the mountain scene in the background? I think the husband's getting her. So I have my Whisper White card base. Here's some of that beautiful designer series paper. I took my frame, my rectangle stitched frame, cut out only this window, and then I'm going to put this inside here. Okay, like so. So let's glue this on here right now. I'm going to actually just put snail tape right along this window here in the back. Just really wanted it to feel like stained glass. Let's see. What about this? Yep, I think that looks good. Pretty. Now, of course, since we have these gorgeous, gorgeous frames, there's the back, there's the front. I cut out the frame. Indy! Indy, come! Want a treat? Come see! Frame, gold on the white paper. I cut out the frame the same size as this one, and I will end up gluing it onto here. Just kind of, makes a little, like, look here. But I don't really, it doesn't look bad, but I don't really want that sticking out. So what I did was take a piece of Whisper White for the insert and made, I need some lotion for my face. I just wanted to finish it off a little nicer, I suppose. So I'm going to add that frame to the inside. And then for over here, I wanted to use some of that gold paper. Let's showcase it a little bit, kind of as an insert. So that is the idea for this one. As far as the sentiment goes, I will think about it. I know I had trouble the last time with the mounted card. Where should I put the sentiment? I think one of those label me bolds is going to work for this. Again, just a little something, but not overly intrusive. So there's that card. Last card. Last one, Indy. Almost done. We always color the flowers, right? But we never think of the negative space. So what about this? Petal pink. There's that beautiful gold, gold paper. Here's the other side. Gold and petal pink. Gorgeous. But I embossed the daisies in gold, and I decided to take my petal pink Stamp and Blend and color around it in the negative space. Right? Leave those daisies the way they are. I think because they're gold, I think you could still do this with black. I think it would still look great. But that's kind of what I was thinking. And then here's the smaller version of that frame. And once again, the little rectangle framelit fits perfectly in there. And it leaves that little stitching bit, which is, amazing, right? I think I'm going to just add this little frame off to the side. I may add some of that crinkle seam binding, or even the polka dot tool, and a little saying on the stitched rectangle framelit, just a nice little something. So I'll find a little saying there. Ooh, you could actually make it a little off-centered, whatever. That even looks cute too. I think I'm going to emboss the saying on there, like so. And then of course for the insert of the card, I want to showcase that beautiful stitching there like that. All right, so I will get that done, but I have got to take that girl outside or she is not going to quit. Okay, so just go, go, go. All right, I hope you've enjoyed all of these ideas today. Hopefully they've kind of given you some thoughts as to how you might color, first off with Stampin' Blends, how you could use this set for all sorts of different ideas. Like it kind of will go with absolutely every kind of saying, or I guess it's not really masculine. But who knows? I may think of something masculine by the end of the week. Who knows? But Thank you everybody for joining me. Just a reminder that this is the feature of the week. And so if you purchase this bundle, that all these things that I was playing around with today, if you purchase this bundle or if you place an order of $70 this week only, so till Sunday, I will send you those Gilded Gems, those gold, oh, they're beautiful, for free. So just a little hint for you. Get that in there by Sunday. I know lots of people took up the offer last week with the Mountain Air bundle, so that was great. If you have not done this yet, prior to this, sorry everybody, I'll come a little closer. Prior to this video, I have done a Mail It Out Monday challenge. Pick a number between 1 and 10. If your number is chosen, I will send you a card in the mail. I am heading off before she drives me batty. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you.